Free, free. 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 Today is the International Day to boycott Puma for their sponsorship of the Israeli Football Association. Your profits are covered in Palestinian blood. 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 Your profits are covered in Palestinian blood.
Your profits are covered in Palestinian. I just want to say thanks to everyone who is here presently and to those who cannot be here with us but stand with us in the spirit of solidarity. First, I would like to describe what drives this action, that this is a movement not of hate, not of anti-Semitism, but of empathy and solidarity. Empathy is the engine which drives us to struggle for each other and the rights of others, the fight for self-determination. So why here, why now, today? The answer is simple. If not now, then when? If not you or I, then who? Today we're here because of the Palestinian people. Today we're here because the state of Israel has occupied land illegally for decades. We're here because the classification of such occupation is considered to be apartheid by multiple human rights agencies. But why these offices? Because of the link between oppression and business. In a capitalistic world, it is what we do with the money in our pockets which determines the course of the world. That brings me to Puma. Puma is a sportswear company. A company that would have you believe that it supports Black Lives Matter, that it supports the right of LGBTQI people, that have free people everywhere to exercise their rights as full human beings on this earth. That's great, but is it true? If it is true, then why did Adidas drop its sponsorship of the Israeli Football Association? If it is true, why 58,000 people signed a petition to end the sponsorship of the Israeli Football Association? How can it be true that Puma positions itself as pro-human rights, which supports a football association which sponsors clubs playing on illegal UN Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank? This same occupied area where a state has enacted mass surveillance, control, displacement and hardship. Let us not forget that the state of Israel has violated no less than 28 resolutions of the UN Security Council. North Korea, Syria, Myanmar and Iran have one each. Puma, is that the government that you want to support? We hope to achieve by taking these actions to raise to you the issue. Do you know where your money goes? To raise awareness, because in all fairness, ignorance kills. So whilst you sit at home, know that blood spills, land is taken whilst children cry, portrayed as a defensive struggle. 705 permanent obstacles, 4,371 held in custody for security offences, 185 children, a dual system of laws discriminating between settler and Palestinian, 130 settlements with 600,000 people violating Article 49 of the Geneva Convention. 61% of the West Bank is unavailable to Palestinians. We're talking about 5.6 million refugees with eyes and ears and hearts like you and me, people with families. Defensive struggle. With a quick Google search, you can burst that bubble. A 64% poverty rate in Gaza. Standing on the wrong or right side of history, which would you rather? Now is the time to join an organization. Sign a petition. Understand the mission is complete freedom and liberation. There can be no hesitation. 2 million of food insecure. Whilst you secure profits from football played on death's door. Until you reverse this course, we will boycott you. You'll find us in the streets, in the malls, in the stores, because whilst they use force, we understand that direct action grounded on the love of the people is what opens doors. Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free, free.
Palestine.
Free, free.
Palestine.
Free, free.
Palestine.
Boycott Puma. Boycott Puma. Boycott Puma. Boycott Puma.
Let's get some up on the time in there.
So, Norma.
We've written a letter to the chief exec of Puma. Puma sponsors Israeli Apartheid. We call on Puma to stop. Puma sponsors the Israel Football Association, which includes teams in illegal Israel settlements on occupied Palestinian land in violation of international law. Puma's endorsement of the IFA gives legitimacy to Israel's illegal settlement, pushing Palestinian families off the land. As long as Puma sponsors teams in illegal Israeli settlements. We will respect the call from the Palestinian athletes to boycott Puma. We call on Puma to stop the sponsorship of apartheid Israel.
And remember, in South Africa, it was the sports boycott. Mandela says it's apartheid. Desmond Tutu says it's apartheid, what Israel's doing to the Palestinians, and calling for boycott of those complicit. Puma is complicit. I was in Gaza and they bombed the football stadium while I was there. They killed Palestinian footballers. They're shooting the protesters in the legs, mainly targeting a lot of the athletes, like the youths in the West Bank that were crossing the checkpoint and got shot in the legs when they saw they were playing football. 3 international footballers shot dead. Mahmoud Sarsak, who was an international footballer, tortured while he was in prison under administrative detention. That's an international footballer. And he was in prison for 3 years. He had to have a 99-day hunger strike. International forward. And Eric Cantona, Manchester hero, supports the Palestinians and supported Mahmoud Sarsak to get him out of prison. And yet Puma still sponsor the Israeli Football Association, who have 6 set teams on stolen Palestinian land, even by international law. Let alone all the crimes going on and the punishment of so many that continue, not just against sports people, but Palestinians generally. We're going to keep fighting until all these links and these chains are broken and Israel can no longer get away with this mass murder and ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians and the attacks on Palestinian sports people that left so many just like this without limbs and no longer able to follow their dreams. Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!